actually, which is good. So I'm actually going to do something similar rather than trying to do the project with you. I will do something similar to what Mr. Philip did, and then you can use those skills to combine it afterwards to then um, build your own project basically. But before I begin, does anyone have any questions? I know you guys were given homework, so does anyone have any questions?
No.
No. Oh, okay. No, that's right. That's good. I was a bit scared because if everyone had questions and then I just came back, I'm like, oh, how do I do this? I'm like, I would freak out a bit, but I'm glad you guys are learning at least. So without wasting too much time, let's just jump into it. Okay. So today's lesson is about layout. That's what we're doing today. So layout. Basically, what is a layout? It's basically how we present our content on the HTML. That's what we're doing. So you did yes, Salam. Sorry. What's your question?
So why you didn't come in the other lessons?
I was away. So I had to attend to other matters when I wasn't able to come in the other lesson, unfortunately. Sorry, yes. So it wasn't because I didn't want to, but I had to attend a meeting which happened during this time, hence why I wasn't with you guys. But I'm here now, so I hope that's good. All right. Okay. So, right. Now we're doing something very simple today. It's super simple. It's nothing complicated, all right? Okay. So, like I was saying, what is a layout? Uh, so you've done, some pretty advanced things like animation. So now I want to teach you how to display content in different blocks. Okay. So let's start very simple. We all know how to do a div tag. Okay. So I'll just go div, and then when I press the tab or the tab key, it'll create for me a div tag. Okay. Let me give this one a class of I would say two. We just want two 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 shapes side by side for now. Okay, that's all we need to do. So what do I do next? I'll just create two div tags inside this one. Okay, so I'll go div. Okay, and I'll go multiply it. So if you notice, I pressed the shift key and the number 8. So div, and then I press shift and then the number 8, and then I'll press number 2. And then if I press the tab key, I'll get two of them instantly. Okay. Instead of writing them out, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So instead of going div, tab key, and then coming down here and going div, tab key, what I've essentially done is I've gone div, shift number 8 to multiply. Okay, that's to multiply and say how many I want. I can put 10 here if I want, but for this time, I only want 2. And then I'll press tab key, then it'll just give me those 2. Okay, I just thought I'll repeat that before I confuse you. Okay. I'll just put the number one in here, and then I'll put the number two, and I'll save it. So if you're wondering, I just created a folder, and then I just gave it a new name, layout. So I'm happy for you to do that, or to continue using other files that you already have. Okay. For this instance, I've just created a new file. Okay. And yes, hello, Cooper. Good to see you. Salam was missing you, by the way. So, if we come back here, you probably can't see anything. All right. So you only see how there's like these two. That's because naturally things in HTML go from top to bottom. They always sit on top of each other. They're never side by side. But in this case, we want things to be side by side. Okay, that's the purpose of this tutorial. So we want the number one and the number two to be side by side, going from left to right or right to left, depending on how you view things. Okay, so how do we do that? Simple. So it's yes, we missed you too, Kuba. So there's a very, 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 very easy way of doing this, and I'm going to teach you both ways. And then you, going forward, you can choose how you wish to do this. All right. Okay. So in order to achieve layouts, as an Layouts, you use something in CSS called display. So if you look carefully, I don't know if you can see it. So if you see here by default, if you look in your Google Chrome or web browser that you're using, if you look carefully here, you can see how it says div. Then it's got like this display block going on. Okay. So display block means it's a block that takes up the entire screen. Okay. So naturally, anything that's a div tag is going to take up the entire screen. Just as you can see, when I put my mouse over the number over this element here, div class 2, it's showing you this bluish color, which is filling up the entire screen. That means it's a whole block. Okay. All right. But when I started this lesson, I said I wanted to teach you how to put these side by side. So what do we do? All right, fair enough. So we go over to our elements. All right. And then we scroll down to this plus here. There's a little plus right there next to HOV and CLS. So there's a little plus there that says new style rule. So what you do is you just click that, and then it'll create .two. Because remember, our div class is 2. So it just creates a CSS entry for us. Okay. And then let's go display. Okay. So let's use display this time. But we don't want display block. We want something called display flex. Aha. So immediately you can see the change. You see that? So instead of block where it's on top of each other, if we go flex, it's now side by side, which is what we want. Okay. So we can just go display flex right there, and I'll select this. Okay. And let's just quickly check. So they're very thin. We want them to be across the entire screen. Okay. How do we do that? Simple. So we just go flex direction. Okay. Direction. And then there's so many options, but I'd say let's choose something called a row. Okay. See, I don't know if you can see the drawings here. Next to the name, like you've got these squares that tell you how it looks. So we want one where there's like two of them side by side. Okay. We don't want the column because the column they'll be sitting on top of each other. We can do that, but we want the one where it's left to right, as I said. Okay. All right. But it still doesn't fix our problem. So what do we do next? Okay. So what we do is we'll click plus again. All right. We'll click plus again. And then this time, instead of just targeting two, we'll go two space div. Why? Because we've got these div tags inside this div tag. So we're talking to the children. We're talking to the children or child elements of this element. Now watch. Just to prove to you that we're not doing anything wrong, let's give them a border of 1 pixel solid red, just to show that we're not losing our focus. Okay, right. Now we know that we're targeting the correct thing. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to do something called flex. Now what does flex mean? Flex is just short for flexible. Okay, flexible. Like, I don't know if you guys know acrobatics, like gymnastics, um, sports where they tend to, limber up. So you just want anything like flexible uh sports. Don't know if it's yeah, so something like that. Something like this where you can twist your body into different shapes. So that's flexible. So when we do a display flex, we want our content to be flexible, as in you can stretch it, you can squash it. All right. That's what we're trying to say, basically. Salim, I've seen your question, so I don't know if you understood when I say the purpose of display flex is to stretch, as in to make the elements bigger or to make them smaller, depending on how we feel. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
It does. Okay, awesome. Well, I mean, I'll demonstrate it to you now with a code, and then once you see, you're gonna go, right, okay, this is what we want to do. So instead of me talking and you guys falling asleep, I'll quickly show you now um what happens. So we'll go flex, okay, and then I'll go one. Okay, so immediately I just pressed one, okay, uh, and then I'll go space 0 space auto. Now, what does all this mean? Should we care? Right. If we click this little arrow, I don't know if you can see it. I'll make my screen a bit bigger so you can see it. So you see this tiny arrow. So under to div, there's flex and then there's column. There's this little arrow after it. So if you click that, it'll expand. It will expand. Sorry, and show you the things we did. So rather than typing all of this, we did a shortcut. We just did flex, grow by 1, shrink by 0, And the flex basis is just automatic. You don't have to remember all of this. So by standard, just go flex 1, 0, auto, and then you get that. That's the effect we're talking about. So this is what I was trying to mention back then, Salim, that we want our content to be flexible. You see, so you can make it small or you can make it big. It's flexible. It can grow, it can shrink. All right. So that's that. And then let's say we want the width. You can go with 100%. And now you see it's off the screen. Why? Because initially we told the initial div tag that we want the flex direction to be a row. Now you could change this to something called a column and be like, yay, that solves everything. But no, 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 no. That'll just give you problems. You don't want to be changing this all the time. So how do we solve this problem? Okay, pretty simple. So we can get rid of flex direction if we don't want to change it from column to row or vice versa. Yes, Audrey, yes, I can see your hand. What is your question?
Yeah. So I wanna ask, like what are we trying to solve? So I think I was not sure.
No, no, no. Go for it. I'll try and simplify it as much as I can.
Mm. Yeah, like so I'm like what are we solving?
Okay. So the purpose of learning a layout is it's to give you a choice in how to present your content. And I'll give you a scenario. So you're going to come to a point where you want to show images, for example, images, all right? But do you want to show them from top to bottom? Like, you know how when you go on Facebook or Instagram and you're scrolling up and down, right? Now
Mhm.
you can show your images like that, or you can show them like how they are on the profile. So you know how when you go on the person's profile, then you have that 3 by whatever grid where you got 3 images along one row, then 3 images on the next row, then 3 images on the next row, like a grid, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the purpose of this is to teach you to then come to the point where if you make your own app, you can choose to do it like that, or you can even go and create like a 10 by 10 grid where you've got 10 images on one line, 10 images on the other line. So
Um,
it's yes. So it's to give you the skills that you can then decide when you make your own project. You can choose to go, I want to do it this way or that way. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll do a quick example before we go, but you won't have to copy it. It's just to demonstrate what I just said. Yeah, but thank you. That was a good question. So, yes, I like how Salam and Kupa are being buddy buddies there in the chat. Love it. Keep it up. It's good to see that. So, so I was saying, how do we solve this problem of our code going off screen? Well, we don't want this, right? So instead of flex direction, okay, let's turn it off, all right, and use a property called flex wrap, and then we go wrap. Okay. So what wrap does is it's like wrap. I don't know how to explain it. It's like how you fold your clothes, okay, or how mama folds your clothes after she washes them. She wraps them nicely. She packs them nicely, okay? So it's the same with this. Flex wrap is wrap. So it contains everything, right? But now we've gone back to this, but we don't want this now, do we? We want our things to be side by side, right? No, Salim, it's okay. I'm not angry. I'm saying I like how you and Kuba are conversing. That's good. I like to see that. So you can continue. So width is 100%. Okay. So if we go maximum width, so max width, okay. If we want to make it side by side, we'll go 50%, right? But it's still not showing us what we want. So let's probably go down to 48%. Aha, now it works. Why? Because we have a border here. See this border here? That's the issue. So if you get rid of the border, things will go back to normal. In fact, we can give it a background. Let's go background. We'll give it a background of pink. So it makes sense. All right. And we go text align and we go center. All right. So the beauty about this is we can then start playing with these numbers as much as we want, you know. Like if you can probably do a 3 by 3 grid using this way, but for now we only did 2. All right. So yeah, this is how you do what's called display flex. I'll just quickly explain, then I'll show a practical example to help Audrey and the rest of everyone. All right. So we have a div tag with a class selector called 2. And inside this div tag, we've got 2 div tags with the number 1 and the number 2, because we only want to do 2 elements at this time. Tomorrow I'll progress and I'll show you another example, but I don't want to overload you because we just came back. Okay. So we go display flex. Okay. So remember, if you want to do a layout, you go display. There's heaps of them. There's display table, there's display block, which is by default. But we want display flex. We want our content to be flexible, that is stretch or shrink at any time. And then we did flex direction, where we can force it to either be a row or a column, but we found that was an issue. So instead we used flexible wrap. So anything inside the div tag class number 2 would be wrapped as an equal stack by default from top to bottom. And then when we used flex 10 auto on the 2 div tags and gave it a max width of 50%, it went side by side. Okay. So if we don't have maximum width 50%, we'll get this, because by default, we're wrapping things around each other. So they're going to be stacked on top of each other. It's not until we tell them, hey, we want you to be a maximum width of this, that it will happen. Okay. So that's that. I will copy and paste this into our CSS file so we don't lose it. All right. So I'll just quickly copy this. Right click and I'll go copy. And I'll go into a CSS and then I'll go paste. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing for our div tag. I'll just select everything, copy, and then I will paste just like that. Okay. Okay. I like how Kuba is just like, okay. All right. So I'll just chuck the file here so it's there. And so every time we reload, it's there. Okay. So we're not lost. Right. Now, I'll do a quick example. I've only got 10 minutes with you guys, but I'll do a quick example just to demonstrate the question that Audrey raised. Okay, so just bear with me. Sorry, I got all pixels. All right, so from memory, I know Queen has like interesting babies. Okay, so I'll search a baby, for example. Which one? But I'll pick a random one. Okay, so we'll pick that one. I can already laugh. The face itself is too funny. Okay, so download. All right. Layouts. Okay, so we'll call this one baby. Okay. I know Audrey's into fashion, so I'll go girl fashion. All right. Wow, I don't even know which one to pick, honestly. It's insane. Some of these pictures are just shocking. Okay, I'll pick that one. Can't remember what Koopa is interested in. Yes, Salam, sorry. I didn't see your comment. You can go to the washroom, my dear. Please, you can excuse yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go. Now, Koopa, what's one thing that interests you so I can search it here? No. Maybe you can't hear me. I'll select. Yes, go for it.
So please speak louder. Like,
No, can you hear me now?
so louder. I can.
No, can you still hear me? No, not
Yeah,
really.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll select basketball for Leon. So I'll go basketball. So we just, yeah, I don't mind. I'll pick that one. That's fine as well. So you go large and then select. Okay.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, Salim. Welcome back. All right. So, wait, who else do we have? I'm trying to remember because I listen when you guys tell me stuff. I listen. I know Salim is into. Um, let's go park. Okay, let's go park and see. All right, there we go. We'll pick that one. That one's for Salim. Okay. All right, park. And
This
then
for me.
last. Yeah, it's only an
You don't
experiment.
know.
Nah, what do you like? What do you like?
Mm, I
Dancing?
like dogs.
Dogs? Okay. Dogs.
Yeah, this the white one with glasses.
This one. Okay. Here I will pick this one. So we'll save the dog. We'll go dog. All right. And then who else do we have? Seth. Now, I'm not sure. Seth, what do you really like? Sorry. Let me see what you said. Football. Okay. So let's go football. All right. Thank you. I'll pick that one. I'm guessing you're not a fan of American football, so I'll pick this one. All right. Okay. So I'm going to show you the benefit of what we just did. Okay. So if you bear with me for 3 minutes, I'll quickly show you exactly what we were doing or what we were trying to achieve. Okay. Oh, sorry. let me do this. Sorry. My layout is just gone. All right, here we go. Okay, so let me do this. I'll put down my mic for a second. So if you hear me a bit faint, it's because of that. So we'll go image layouts. Okay, so I've got all these images. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Go there. Okay. I don't think we need the alt tab. It's fine. So we'll start with the baby.
Sir, I can't hear you again.
No, sorry. I put down my microphone. I specified this. I was like, if I put down my microphone, it's for me to type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'll pick it up again just for you. So football, and then girl fashion. Right. Okay. So this is what our current images would look like, which is all over the place, right? See the see the baby's nose, right? It's right in your face. I know Queen likes this kind of stuff where you got the baby's eye right in the middle of the screen. And you get everything else underneath it, like the basketball,
Who's that? Basketball?
basketball, uh and then yeah, you got the dog with the glasses. See how everything is all over the place, right? So we want to fix that. You will want to fix this, okay? So this is what I'm going to show you. All right. So as I was explaining to Audrey, because Audrey really likes Instagram, okay, I'll show her how to do something like that. All right. So how many images do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kill. So if we apply what we've learned today, okay, we'll go plus here, image layout, perfect. And we'll go display, flex for flexibility. All right. In fact, before I do that, let me do something really quickly. So I'll click the plus again and I'll go image layout space img for image, right? And then I'll go width 100%. So our images are not obnoxiously big like they are, okay? So at least they're tolerable. All right, cool. Now, after display flex on the parent element, we go flex wrap and we wrap everything. Now, automatically you should see the images stacking on top of each other instead of going from left to right like they were. Okay, so you can see how you got the baby at the top, then you got the basketball picture straight after it, and now you've got the dog with the glasses. Thank you, Salim. And then we got the football from Seth, and then we got the girl fashion from Audrey. Okay, right. But this is not what we want. Supposedly, we want to have 3 images left to right. How do we achieve that? Well, it's simple. So we click the image layout element and click plus again. So plus just means add a CSS property, essentially, right? So it does the work for us. So instead of typing, it does it for us. Okay. So you just get used to going click here, click plus, or click here, click plus, and then it'll do it for you. Okay. So now, actually, in fact, we don't need this one. Sorry. Sorry. Ignore that. Because we kind of did it before when we went image layout, image right there. Okay. So we kind of did it before, but forgive me how I did it. Just do it like this. All right. So we go flex 1, 0 space auto, which if you remember, it was flex grow 1, flex shrink 0, and then flex basis automatic. You don't have to remember this. It will come by naturally. Now, since we have a width of 100%, I'll take this off from here and I'll put it down here. I'll go width 100%. What do we do next? We go max width. Now, here's the mathematical part, okay? Because you've been doing a lot of math, so you guys are very smart. So we've got a width of 100%. So 100 divided by 3 is 33.33333, right? So you go maximum width is 33%, just like that. Okay, because it's 100%. Is the width of 100% divided by 3, because you want to place 3 images on the column. Like, imagine if you want to put 5 of them in one column, it would be 100 divided by 5, which would come down to 20%, just like that. So you guys will get it because you guys are very smart. I know you guys will. If you want to do by 4, I believe 4 into 100 is 25%. You get 4 in one row, and then 4 in the next one, etc., etc. Okay. So, but for now, we want to do the Instagram way where we go 33% because we want 3 in one row. All right. So the height, let's give them a height of 200 pixels, maybe. Each, that's massive. Maybe 100 pixels. And then go object, fit, contain, cover. Yeah, why not? Object position, center, and something like that. So there's a practical example of why we want to learn layouts, Audrey. I don't know if it makes sense now.
Yes, it does.
It does, right? So it's up to you basically if you're doing your website or something about, oh, I want to show like a gallery. Like, let's say you guys went to a park with your friends and then you have images you want to show. You can choose to show them like this, where it's like a giant image, you know, like a big image, or you can show it in a grid like that. So people can go, wow, that looks cool, you know. So yeah, so that was the purpose of today's lesson when we did layouts. So this is the code. I'm happy to post this on Slack after the lesson so you guys can experiment, play with it. But that's what we want to learn today. I'm not going to go any further. I want you guys to ease back into it. Because yeah, you've had 2 weeks off, I believe, doing your homework. So yeah, that concludes today's lesson on layouts. So today we did display flex. Maybe tomorrow we'll do display grid because I told you there's 2 ways to do it. So I'll teach you both ways, and then you can then decide I want to go the flex way or the grid way. Okay. Personally, I think grid is the easiest, but I'll let you decide that. All right. So thank you for listening today. Thank you for staying with me. I shall give you back to Mr. Philip. It was nice to see you guys again. I did miss you guys. All right. Thank you so much. I think he's asleep. Hey, Mr. Philip, what you do?
So
Look, I think he's sleeping.
probably because he never sleeps.
Wow. All right. Well, you probably don't have to wait for him. If you guys want to go now,